Hello everyone, my name is Elle. Welcome to a Project Pan Porn update. This is a project I started last year with the intention of hitting pan on as many eyeshadows as possible. So this is my first update because I did my intro about a month or so ago and I had two palettes that I chose. These are things that I'm working on in conjunction with the Anastasia Mario palette, which is my Pan That palette for 2018. That is my main focus. I really want to have things that I can use with the Mario palette, so I'm not trying to use too many things at one time. So I had the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette as well as the Kylie Holiday palette from 2016. So the first palette I'll talk about is the Desert Dusk palette. This is so beautiful. I love looking at this palette. It makes me so happy. So this is what my palette looked like before I started focusing on using it, and this is what it looks like now. And as you can see, there's a little bit of wear and there's pan on one shade, which is really unexpected actually. I wasn't intending or trying to hit pan on the shade Retrograde, but I did because I ended up using it so often. I was using it as an inner corner highlight shade and sometimes around my brow bone, just because I wanted something a little bit different. The other shadows I ended up using a little bit, and you can see like a little bit of wear on it, but this palette was fairly new when I started to focus on it, and I wasn't really going to be using a lot of the shimmery shades. I was really focusing on matte shades, and there's three shades in particular that I was using with the Mario palette. That is the shade Musk, and the orange and the red shade Saffron and Blazing. These shadows paired really well with the shadows that I was working on within the Mario palette. And I was using Amethyst, the beautiful purple, a little bit. I really do enjoy using this palette overall. It's one of those things that I look at and it makes me happy, and it almost makes me feel bad to use it because it just looks so good. I am wearing it mostly on my eye today. I just love the way the colors work together. The whole idea of Desert Dusk and the inspiration behind it really speaks to me. I am very inspired by nature, so I just really enjoy this palette a lot. So I will be putting it aside for now, and I will probably come back to it later on in the year. And the Kylie Holiday 2016 palette. So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. As you can see, I have pan, massive pan to be exact, on the shade Sugar Cookie. And that's because I was using it to set my eyeshadow primer. So I was using it all over the lid, both lids. It's very, very easy to go through shadow when you use it that way. I'm just using so much of it every single day. It took no time. The other shadows have very little usage on them. I didn't use them that often. Every now and then I used shades in this palette like the green and the blue to pair with the Mario, but I was using the Huda Beauty palette more than I was using this one. I also used this pinkish shade as well from time to time, but I just did not end up reaching for this one as much as I thought that I would. So I had been holding off doing this update for a little while because I really wanted to throw in a bonus palette, something to play with for fun. I placed an order from Juvia's Place in January. Still haven't received what I ordered, and the last time I checked the tracking, it ended up on the other side of Canada. So I filed a ticket complaint with Canada Post, and we're trying to figure out what happens, but Canada Post is like, either we find it or you're screwed. I'm like, great, fantastic. This is awful. It's been almost a month since I ordered from Juvia's Place. Not super impressed. I was really looking forward to playing with some really beautiful, colorful shadow. But anyway, I've decided to pick out two Urban Decay shadows to use this month, and I'll just focus on these two and just try and get even more progress on the Mario palette. I'm really kicking butt with that palette, so I'm pretty happy about it. But I thought that I would pick out two Urban Decay palettes. So I was just talking about the Naked Heat palette when I was roasting the Petite Heat in my anti-haul. So I thought, why not use this one? Because I really like this palette and I don't have pan on any of the shades. And I definitely feel like it's doable because there's a lot of matte shades. There's a lot of beautiful warm tones in here. And I think those will go really well with the Mario palette. There are some similarities to the Huda Beauty palette in terms of warmth. So I think that's why this palette will work really well with the Mario palette. And then my second one is the Naked Ultimate Basics palette. I just got this for Christmas. I haven't used it very often. It was a Christmas present. I wanted it because I love Urban Decay eyeshadows, and I also thought that it would be a good neutral palette, and it would have a variety of tones that I could pair with Mario palette and with whatever else I wanted to use. So there's a lot of light neutral shades in here. There's things that are a little bit cooler as well. Then there's some deeper shades, so I can play around a little bit. The Anastasia formula is so soft that I really need something that's a little less intense to pair with it, and I find like MAC shadows and Urban Decay shadows to be fantastic because they're a little bit stiffer, and in a good way, because that means I can just have more control. So I really love playing with Urban Decay eyeshadows. I've panned a couple of Urban Decay palettes in the past, and I have had a lot of fun using them. So I thought that I would see what I can do with these. It's hard to say if I'll get much usage on the Ultimate Basics palette just because it's barely been touched at all, but I do have a little bit of usage on the Naked Heat palette. So definitely planning to hit pan on as many shadows as I possibly can in the next month with those two palettes. All right, so that is everything for my February update of my hashtag Project Pan Porn. Don't forget to use that hashtag on Instagram. If you have some palettes or any other products that have pan and you want to show it off, use that hashtag. I will also throw in a little plug here for my Facebook group if anybody feels like joining it. It's called the Pan Fam. I will link it down below in my description box in case you want to join. It's just a really casual, laid-back group for people panning. You can post pictures of the stuff you've hit pan on. You can ask for help and advice, get talked out of products. It's a lot of fun, and I love chatting with people there. All right, thank you so much for watching and for spending some time with me today. I really, truly appreciate it, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now. Get my crown on there right, bitch. All right, so that is everything for my February update of my Project Pashporn. All right, so that is everything. Oh, it was hashtag Pan.